Like, hear me out here.
Okay.
There's something called the replication crisis. You ever heard of that? The replication crisis?
No.
When you go back to redo sociology studies, the vast majority of them can't be replicated.
Okay.
The vast majority, and that would be psychology and sociology. Okay. Would you say that these studies that you gave me are mostly sociological?
Yes.
Okay. And would therefore suffer from the replication crisis. And that would mean that there's a good possibility that up to 60% of what you just gave me here will never be replicated.
I think when you have so many studies saying similar things, I don't think that's an issue. I also think that you can grant that most of the red pill community are potential, like incels, there's a Venn diagram of people in the red pill community.
But that's where publishing bias comes in.
But hold on. Mm-hmm. In the red pill community, incels are a big part of the red pill community.
What is an incel?
Someone who's involuntarily celibate.
Meaning they can't have sex?
Even though they'd like to.
Okay, so they can't get a hooker?
I guess, but maybe they don't want to. Maybe they want a real relationship.
So then they're not involuntarily celibate?
Do you not believe in incels?
So they're not involuntarily celibate?
Do you not believe in incels?
I'm asking you a question. Why are you
You're asking me a stupid question.
No.
Do you not believe in incels?
Can an incel buy a hooker?
Sure.
Okay, and you say they don't want to.
Potentially.
So how are they involuntarily celibate?
You think they should buy a hooker?
No, I'm asking how they're involuntarily celibate.
Because they can't get someone to date them, Andrew.
But that wouldn't be, I'm sorry, what does celibacy mean?
This is the same bullshit you do.
What
are we talking
it's super
about?
important.
If you don't acknowledge that incels are real, just say that. But don't try to play this game. Don't play debate club with me. Don't play debate club with me.
Debate clubbing nothing. I'm making sure semantics are straight.
No, it's not. See, semantics are a big debate club thing.
Semantics are part of debate.
Do you believe that incels are real?
It's hard to say.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Depends on what
you can't just say yes,
It depends on what
you can't just say yes because this is what you do.
I will say yes or no if you just clarify for me that an involuntary celibate is a person who just can never get sex no matter what.
That's typically the definition, yes.
Okay. Can these people get prostitutes? Can they buy prostitutes?
Who knows?
You don't know if they can?
Maybe they don't have money. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Do incels exist?
By that definition,
not my definition. Do incels exist?
Well, it depends.
Well,
depends.
Do incels exist?
From my definition,
this is some bullshit game you're playing, dude.
Or yours?
Anyone's definition.
Bro, I don't know why you don't understand what semantics are.
I don't understand why you can't answer the question. I don't need to be walked through it. I don't want to play your game, dude.
I'm not playing a game.
Yes, you are. Do incels exist? Oh, not by your definition. I have no idea if incels exist. How could I even admit to that?
Oh, my God. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do leflipidoos exist?
Not that I know of.
Wait. What's a leflipidoo?
Who knows?
Then how the fuck do you know if they exist or not?
Have you read a study on inflipidoos?
Well, why would that matter?
Okay.
I did.
Do leflipidoos exist or not?
Okay, Andrew.
And what I mean by leflipidoo is, yes, if you have a proprietary definition,
okay.
You can't. So this is what's called equivocation. It's fallacious argumentation.
It's called debate club. That's what you're doing.
No, it's equivocation.
It's called debate club.
Are you in a debate?
I don't think so. I think we're having a discussion.
No, why?
Because we're having a discussion about red pill communities.
When you sat down before the show, didn't you say I'm an excellent debater?
We're having a discussion about red pill communities.
We're having a fucking debate.
But now you're saying that red pill communities don't have incels, which is complete bullshit.
Not what I said.
Well, they don't exist in your world.
Not what I said either.
You're trying to get some stupid definition that doesn't exist.
Listen, I'm trying to explain this to you.
No, you're not trying to do shit except avoid the question.
When you're done, I'll explain.
You're not trying. No, I don't need to be explained.
Well, I'm going to explain it anyway.
Well,
so just so that you understand. Definitionally, things can be...
Here's Debate Club 101, everybody. If you want to be in the debate club...
Listen, everybody, because this is super important.
It's super important. Incels don't exist.
We're in a debate.
Incels don't exist, by the way.
Well, we're in a debate.
All you incels out there, it's not true. All you incels, I'm sorry, Andrew doesn't believe you exist. He doesn't think you exist.
Well, when you're done, I'll explain.
I'm done.
Okay.
But I'm not going to listen.
So I'll explain.
So if you're an incel...
So he's not going to let me speak?
No. If you're an incel, Andrew doesn't think you exist. He thinks you should just go buy a hooker, just FYI.
Which would definitely,
Andrew, just go ahead.
Which, if you could buy a hooker, by his definition, would make you an incel. So, how this works is, if somebody has a definition of something as proprietary, right? I don't know what he means by the thing he's asking. So I asked him, does that just mean you can't get sex under any circumstances? Yes. Okay, can they buy a hooker? Yes. Well, then they can get sex under some circumstances.
So incels don't exist.
Stop, bro. So by your logic, they wouldn't be incels. Now, if you have a different definition than that, and you want to give it to me, I'm willing to engage with it in good faith.
You're not arguing in good faith. This is complete and utter bad faith.
You're not making an argument at all.
I'm saying incels exist, and you're saying, well, what do you mean by incels?
Yes, it's important.
No, it's not important.
It's proprietary. Definition's proprietary.
No, it's not important. You're making it important. It's not.
Okay.
The fact that you deny that incels exist is so silly.
It's not what I did.
Hold on. Okay, so let me read a couple chats, and if you guys want to continue talking about that specific thing, we will. Ogle, thank you for the gifted 50 memberships. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Guys, W's in the chat for Ogle. He just gifted 50 to the whatever community. Thank you, man. Appreciate it very much. We have a couple chats here coming through. We have Ogle, speaking of.
Ogle_glue.net donated $100. It wasn't meant to be a dig. I appreciate people who have good intentions and act on them. There's just the road to hell is paved. For a reason is all I'm saying.
Thanks, Ogle. And honestly, man, I really am here to try to help as many people as I can. That's really all I'm here for. I'm not here to win a debate and, you know, be in debate club. I'm trying to really help incels and people in the red pill community who feel lonely and depressed.
Yeah.
But Andrew wants to play definitions.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. I want you to clarify what you mean by things.
No, you want to play a definition game.
17 years. 7 lawsuits filed against me. Grandparents filed. 3 protection orders. 3 false arrests. Untold thousands of dollars. I won, but it almost killed me. I don't blame guys.
He sent one in earlier, right? Was this the same guy who included the case number? No, that was Stream Rift. Well, it seems like there's some Ghost. He had another poor experience. I assume this is related to divorce proceedings, child custody proceedings. Ghost, really sorry to hear that.
Ghost. Same. And honestly, man, I appreciate that you fight for your children. That's all I'm asking for is that men who want to be with their children, they fight for it. I'm sorry it's so hard. That it shouldn't be that hard, but that's all I'm saying should happen should you have a child.
It shouldn't be so hard? It shouldn't be?
I don't think so.
Okay, you know what? Great. This is a great red pill talking point.
Wait, let me
They,
just.
oh, man.
Let me. Okay, go ahead.
They also don't believe that it should be so hard, and so they're fighting tooth and nail, especially men's rights advocacy, MRAs, men's rights advocacy groups. So that's not so hard.
That's one subsect of the red pill community, but again, as we established, the red pill content creators that we're talking about promote promiscuity.
Well, you only mentioned 2.
I mentioned 3.
Who?
Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
Fresh and Fit,
Yeah.
this podcast.
This podcast does not promote
but I'm
promiscuity.
trying to avoid it because I like Brian.
No. This podcast does not promote promiscuity.
Okay.
I would like. I need
It doesn't
an example
promote
for that.
marriage.
Yes, well, I
You do,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying you do.
Well, wait
I
a
know.
second. I'm sorry. I thought it was about dating. Your whole time wasn't enough about dating.
It doesn't
need
promote-
to promote marriage.
It doesn't promote marriage.
Does it need to? Should
you
it?
don't think people should get married?
Should
That's
it?
fine. I
Should
think so.
well? Should the
I think
dating
so.
podcast promote marriage?
I think so.
The dating podcast should promote marriage.
I think so. Yeah. I think that isn't that the point
But
of
you
dating?
can't ask
Isn't that the
questions.
point
But you
of dating?
can't ask questions about abortion.
Isn't that the point of dating?
But
Why do you
can't-
date
but
if you're not
can't-
going to try to get
but
married?
you can't ask.
Why do you date if you're not going to try to
Actually,
get married?
there's a lot of people who date without getting married. Yeah, tons.
Okay, but should you?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then shut up.
But don't you?
No, I think people should get married if they want to get married. That's what I think.
Yeah. So then they should be able to date without getting married.
Sure, if they like to.
So then, what are you even bitching about?
I'm not bitching. I'm saying that
That's
this
fucking
podcast, Fresh
that's
and
like
Fit, and
circular
Andrew Tate,
retard shit.
Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and I'm sorry,
Here's our
Brian.
circular
Brian
retard
doesn't
shit.
believe in marriage, and these people, and you're promoting.
Neither
to
do
these
you.
people-
You don't believe it either.
Yeah, I don't. I just
said,
got
you
married.
literally
I
just
got
said,
married.
I think people should get married if they want to.
Okay.
Oh, great. So is that a promotion of marriage? They should get married if they want to? Is that promoting marriage? Is
Sure.
it?
Sure, Andrew.
And answer my question. Are you promoting marriage by saying, hey, everybody, you should get married if you want to?
It's not promoting marriage.
Well, I tell you what, it's a lot less than what I promote.
I'm not saying you.
Me, a staple of this show.
Here, we got a couple more chats here, guys. Almost done. We got Jason Cassell. Oh boy. Okay, here he goes.
Jason Castle donated $100. I would keep an eye on your wife. Even feminist women really want real men. Unfortunately for you, you are a feminist, so you will probably be okay with it because you don't want to tell her what to do.
I'd love Jason to define what a real man is, so if he can send in another $100.
A real man is a guy who sends in another $100.
Or champagne pop. That's an option. Maybe a little liquor for both
Jason,
these guys.
a real man sends in a champagne pop.
A little liquor, maybe, I don't know if he'll get things a little more aggressive.
And then I'll make sure that he doesn't get any.
You'll drink. You'll pound the whole
That's
bottle.
right.
You'll
I'm
pound the
sure he
whole
doesn't get
bottle.
any.
All right, we got Red Fox here. Thank you, man. Thank you, Jason. Good to see you, man.
Red Fox donated $100.
Thank you, man.
If your goal is to convince people away from red pill, why don't you just talk to Andrew and thoroughly think through your position? Instead, you divided the audience. You seem like an useful idiot.
I will have to talk about just the red pill, but Andrew puts conversations into all kinds of different things. We'll talk about abortion. We're talking about single mothers. We'll talk about all this stuff, even though I'm trying to pull people out of this.
So
thing.
I'm trying to give a justification for red pill ideology, and one such justification would be that women have reproductive control, which could create incentives for men to not want to be with women in modernity. Now, you literally told me that is in no way, shape, or form, because I asked you 5 times, I wrote it down 5 times, and you said that that is in no way a contributing factor. Do you think right now anybody should ever take anything you fucking say seriously after you said that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to help people get out of this thing. You're just trying to keep people divided.
Okay.
Christopher Scott donated $100.
Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate
You're
it.
not here in good faith. You won't answer questions. You whine about everything and act like a child. Man up.
You want to respond to that or
No?
Okay. Christopher, thank you for the soup chat. We have Lucas here, and then we'll get back to the debate portion. Lucas, pink hat wearer, I have an honest question for you. You say you have a podcast of female guests geared towards helping men. Do you truly believe right-of-center men align with your positions, or is your target audience white dudes for Kamala? Genuine question from Lucas there.
I appreciate the genuine question. I only started a month ago, but I've gotten over 1 million views, and I've gotten a lot of messages from people who are in red pill, and they say, you're giving me hope that all the stuff that they say out there about a man has to be 6 foot tall, a man has to make 6 figures, a man has to have 6-pack abs. Those are the only guys that women want, and the women I interview are definite, especially the married ones, are saying that isn't the case.
That's black
so
pill, though.
a lot of people have said, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Fathers have reached out to me and said, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. My sons are going to watch your videos because I really hope they don't go down the red pill rabbit hole. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with left or center. I'm not a political person. I mean, I am personally, but my podcast has nothing to do with politics. It really is, let's help these guys see that women aren't the, pariahs that podcasts in the red pill space make them out to be.
You're talking about black pill descriptors?
I'm talking about people who listen to red pill content.
Yeah, I know, but that's not where, even the guys that you stated, Tate, all those guys, they don't say that that's all women want. What they say is that if you want to heighten your chances for dating the type of woman that you want, right, you would work on male self-improvement, and here's things that you could do to do that.
That is not what they say. But
yes, it is what they say.
They say you should, if women only want high-status men, that's what they say.
No, they don't say only either.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so listen. Do you understand that, like, if you work at a fucking Starbucks as a woman and you're dating a janitor, he's high status to you, right?
What?
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
If someone's working at Starbucks and they're dating a janitor, that man's high status?
Yeah, if he's making $29 an hour as a fucking janitor and you're a barista, he would be high status, right?
I don't know that they'd see it like that, but okay.
Okay, well, how do they see it? You tell me.
They see it as like, I like this guy, I don't want to date him. I think that's what they see.
Okay, no. How do these red pillers see it?
They see it as no one who works as a janitor will get a woman.
No, they don't see it that way.
Yes, they do.
No, you're
Yes,
totally.
they
listen,
do.
You're totally wrong on this.
No,
I've talked
I'm
with
not.
these guys.
So have I.
Who? Which ones?
The people who write me. Oh, you talking about the content creators?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people who follow this shit.
Yeah, I'm talking about the content creators you're talking about.
I'm talking about the actual people who listen to it, and they write me, and they say, there's no way a woman would date somebody who works at McDonald's, and that's not true.
Then they are, listen, I don't know what these individuals are telling you.
Well, talk to the individuals.
But I'm going to tell you what the content creators are saying.
Okay.
And by the way,
I also watch what they say.
Okay, well, here's what they say. Here's what Myron Gaines would agree to, and I guarantee Andrew Tate would agree to it. I guarantee you that both of those guys would, and I know Brian would as well. Okay? They're trying to say that, of course, men should work on male improvement. That doesn't mean that all women on planet Earth are only going to want you if you're in the top 1% or the top 15%. That's fucking absurd. You can watch.
If that's absurd, then tell me why every red pillar I come across believes that.
They don't.
They do.
They don't.
Every red pillar I come across believes that.
You know what? Show me a message.
I'll show you. Go through my TikTok. Just go to my TikTok right now. Scroll through my comments.
No. Just show me a single DM.
I didn't say DM. I said comments.
Oh, in the comments.
Yeah. So what? So what? That doesn't count. People, red pillars can't comment. Red pillars can't. Oh yeah, no, you're not sure. You're not sure. They can write the words. The words aren't there.
Trying to answer.
No, you're not. You're bad faith again.
I'm not sure that it's legitimate. No,
It's
because
not legit. Yeah.
that it legitimately comes from Myron Gaines, who would not tell you that a janitor can't date a woman at Starbucks. That's fucking crazy. He would never say it in a million years. I know the guy. He would never say that shit.
I'm telling you that when I ask women, would you date someone under 6 foot tall? Every guy in there says that's just not true. That's just not true. That's just not true. Because they believe the shit that they're seeing from this stuff.
That's bullshit.
No,
and
it's
here's
not.
The thing.
It's not bullshit.
Yeah,
it's
no,
true. And this is the point that I'm trying to make. Every guy who listens to Red Pill, and let me tell you something. The fact that you don't care about these fucking guys is the problem. You don't care about these guys.
I don't believe you.
Andrew, let me tell you something. Do you think there's a problem with male unalives in this country?
Yes.
Okay. What are you doing about it?
Well, I mean, the first thing I did was advocate an anti-war position because PTSD is what led to a lot of the unaliving stats.
That's some of the stats, but there's other people that aren't in the military that unalive themselves.
What was your question?
What do you do to help these people?
And do you think that advocating for an anti-war stance, that doesn't help people unalive?
When someone has what happened? Let's say there is no more war and people still have PTSD. What do?
Well, they get treatment.
Okay, so you believe in treatment?
For PTSD, there's lots of men's groups which are good for treatment.
Do you believe in treatment for severe depression?
In some cases.
What cases wouldn't you advocate for it?
It would depend on the criteria for severe.
What do you mean
I
severe?
can't get out of fucking bed in the morning and all I think about is unaliving myself?
Yeah, like the incels, 95% of them report that.
You may have to have medical. No, they don't.
Yes, 95%
they do. Don't report that they can't get out of bed in the morning.
95% report severe depression. Yeah, of course you do, because you don't give a shit about people.
Because it's not true.
You don't care about people unaliving themselves.
That's literally not true.
Do you believe in therapy?
In some cases, therapy can be helpful. And in other cases, it fucks people up.
Okay. What cases is therapy messing people up?
Well, so psychology. Okay, let's get into it. Psychology is the study of the mind. Can you tell me what is the disease process for you to diagnose a person with a psychological disorder?
I don't know, but I do know that
because doesn't it fucking exist? That's
okay,
why you
so
don't
what?
know
That
it.
doesn't mean therapy doesn't work.
Okay, how does it work?
Have you looked into studies about CBT?
CBT, like the marijuana stuff?
No, that's CBD.
What is CBT?
You don't know about cognitive behavioral therapy?
No. What is it?
Well, then...
What is it?
It's one of the most successful versions of therapy that have helped a lot of people get out of depression.
Okay, what does it do?
It's a talk therapy that basically shows cognitive dissonances in your mind.
So it's a study of the mind.
It's not a study of the mind.
Yes, well, it has to be because...
No, it's talk therapy where...
Talk therapy doing what?
To help you elevate your mood and get you out of bed.
And could you go with like, I don't know, an instrument and do a little test on a guy and be like, oh, your depression level was here and now it's here?
Do you know how people...
Answer my question and then ask me a question.
Do you know how people typically...
and then ask...
No, because that's not how it's tested.
Yeah, right, exactly, because it's not
because
disease.
That's not how it's tested.
Not a fucking
because
disease.
That's not how it's tested.
Depression's
you said
not
answer
a
the question
disease.
and then I could say. So here I am saying that's not how it's tested.
Yeah, because it's not a disease.
Depression's not a disease?
No.
This is why I know that out there, if you're depressed, Andrew doesn't give a shit about you.
It's not a disease.
Andrew doesn't give a shit about you if you're depressed. It's not a disease. It's just something in your head.
I will bet you $100 right now you can get your cell phone and look up if depression is actually a classified disease.
For the record, if you have depression,
bet.
If you have depression, Andrew doesn't care. It's not a disease. Cognitive behavioral therapy doesn't work.
Is it a disease? Bet $100.
Yes.
Okay, then go grab your phone.
No, I'm not grabbing shit.
You're not going to bet?
No.
Because it's not a fucking disease.
So people aren't...
There's not
the camera I need to look at?
If you're going to like talk to the audience,
yeah.
this camera.
If you have severe depression, Andrew doesn't care if you get help. He doesn't think you should get help because it's bullshit.
I say that?
Because depression isn't real, by the way. Depression is not a real thing. It's not a disease. It's not a disease. So that means you shouldn't get it treated because it's not considered a disease.
So okay, so I don't understand. How do we get from depression's not a disease, and that means that depression doesn't exist?
You don't believe in the treatments for it.
No. What I was trying to demonstrate to you is that psychology is a study of the mind, and because of this, you can actually do interventional treatments on people which do more damage than good. Because
show me a study that it does more damage than good.
Do you know what? So you want psychologists to start studying in their own field where 60-70% plus of the studies can't be replicated and govern their own field by telling you that the studies that they're making are bad?
Therapy isn't real to Andrew because you can't replicate it.
Therapy is bullshit. Yeah, psychology is bullshit.
Therapy is bullshit. I asked him if he thinks therapy is real.
Psychology is bullshit, yes.
I asked him if therapy is real. He said some instances. Now it's bullshit. The real truth comes out.
There can be therapeutics that work, yes, but therapy by and large, in and of itself as an occupational, is bullshit, and psychology is bullshit, yeah.
There are several studies that show the improvement of people with
there's several studies that are done by the same people who are studying the mind.
If you're depressed, Andrew doesn't care about you. I just want to point that out.
I don't understand. When did I say depression's not real?
You don't care about the treatment.
Yeah. When did I say that
You
I
don't
didn't
care
care
about
about
the
a
treatment.
treatment?
You don't, because you don't believe it exists.
Do you know that you can treat depression with things like hormone replacement therapy?
That's one avenue.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't understand. If I would recommend that you would do things like hormone replacement therapy under the guide of an actual medical doctor, right, who didn't get a fucking arts degree in psychology, by the way, but an actual MD, right, who gives you something like hormone replacement, that stuff is truly effective for treating this type of stuff. There can be, there can be limited instances of men's groups which seem to help with PTSD and things like this, but by and large, psychology is a fucking crock of shit. Go ahead and demonstrate for me why it's effective.
Okay, so if you have severe depression, maybe get some hormone therapy. That's what Andrew's recommending.
No.
Instead of going.
What are you recommending?
To seek out a therapist, read a book.
What's
do
the cure rate for the severely depressed?
CBT has significantly improved people with severe depression.
CBT has. How
Yes.
many?
I don't have the study in front of me, but it's significant.
How much?
It's significant, just
You don't
like you
know?
said earlier.
You don't know?
You said earlier,
Yeah,
significant.
I doubt
that was an acceptable answer
I
before. It is
doubt
now
it.
too.
I
Of
doubt
course
it.
you do, because you don't care about people with
I
severe
don't
depression.
believe you, yeah.
You don't care about people with severe depression.
What
you
are
don't
you
give a shit.
talking about?
You don't care about them
Because
so many people
I
in the
don't
red pill community have severe depression,
This
and
is
you
the
don't care.
weirdest- one of the
So many
weirdest-
people in the red pill
Yeah,
community have
I
severe
know.
depression,
Yeah, get
and
it
you
out.
don't give a shit.
So you have to understand how illogical this is, how much it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because it's all
Me
bullshit.
saying that you should be guarded in the treatment of psychology means that I don't care about people who have depression. Can you explain that logic to me?
You don't care about the treatment. You don't believe that the treatment is real, and you think the only thing you should do is go to hormone treatment therapy.
No, I didn't
and also,
say
you
that.
think that PTSD.
When did I say the only thing
also,
you
you
should
think
do is
that
this?
people with PTSD, it kind of works there, but if you have severe depression as an incel, it won't work there.
Yeah, it didn't say that either.
That's what you're saying.
You know, you're just straw manning me.
Sure, I'll strawman until you correct me.
Okay, so anyway, so are there alternative therapies which you can recommend?
You don't even know what CBT is. So what therapies do you know about?
Okay, again-
CBT is the most popular, by the way.
Okay, yes. So what?
So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, so help me out here. What is psychology?
It's a study.
It's a study.
Yeah, it's a study.
Okay.
Help me out here. Why is therapy bullshit?
I didn't say therapy is bullshit. Okay? What I was talking about was psychology being bullshit. There can be therapeutics, I said, which work. 1,000 times I've said this. There can be therapeutics which work.
Which ones?
But if you're talking about therapists,
Which ones?
well, especially for people, so the ones that I'm familiar with are people who have PTSD, and there seem to be therapeutics which work inside of these groups who've gone through very similar experience, and them being able to discuss and form communities around these types of things. But I'm not sure that it's because of the discussions as much as it is about the community they're forming.
So what is your solution for the vast number of people who consume this content that are reporting severe depression?
Well, I don't. First of all, you haven't demonstrated that's the case. You just say, here's some studies, but
No, that's not enough.
well, I'd have to read the studies.
Are men unaliving themselves at an alarming rate?
What is that? Juice?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
And that's a concern for you or no?
yeah, it's a big concern.
But you don't believe therapy?
Well, no, I didn't say. Again, for the 100th time, some therapeutics can work for some men who are in severe depression. But you know what caused a lot of this? I asked you this question earlier, and I've just, in a good faith way, answered a ton of yours. Can you answer this one for me now?
What's that?
Men who get divorced, what happens to their unaliving rate?
Yeah, there's a lot of men who get divorced, and I get it, and I feel for those men, and I hope that they get the help they need. But you don't care if they
Yeah,
get the help they
but
need.
why would they need to get help if they didn't get married? Hence, didn't get divorced.
Well, people get divorced. That happens.
Yeah, but not if they don't get married. Then they don't get divorced.
Okay, great.
Now, when they get divorced, the primary reasons that they report this depression is that they lost custody of their kids, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but I thought that women having control over men's kids didn't have anything to do with why men didn't want to get into the dating market.
That's not the reason people aren't dating.
No, you don't think that a big contributor...
That's not the reason people aren't dating.
So the reason you think that people aren't dating and marrying is because men are terrified that women will divorce them and take their kids?
No, I don't think that's the reason they're not dating.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, and you don't think that's why they're not getting married?
No.
Oh, okay. So
Because
why?
college-educated people are still getting married.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, is it that most men?
It's a good percentage.
No,
but,
it's not.
Okay, it's a good percentage of women.
Yes, but
They're getting
men,
married to
I said
somebody.
men. I asked
yeah, but women
men.
are marrying somebody, aren't they?
I asked men.
But women are marrying somebody, aren't they?
Just because you're a woman in college doesn't mean you marry a college-educated man.
Okay, but that's still people who are college educated are still getting married more, including women.
Nobody said.
So if women are marrying
Whoever
somebody,
disputed this?
if women are marrying somebody, they're marrying
But
men.
your concern, I thought you were a big marriage advocate, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't you want marriage advocated for?
I want people who really want to get married and find love to do it. Yes.
So you think that these men who ordinarily would be playing into the dating market trying to find a wife are not concerned whatsoever that she's going to divorce him and take his kids?
I don't think that is the main reason people aren't dating. No.
Okay, then what's the main reason? I didn't say dating, I said marriage.
You have to get married, Andrew.
Yeah, no, I'm asking about marriage specifically.
You have to date to get
Do you
married,
think
Andrew.
that a big deterrent?
You have to date. Do you have to date to get married?
What does that have to do with my question?
The question is, you said, why aren't people getting married? It's like, well,
What is
I'm
this?
talking about they're not dating. It's juice.
It's strawberry lemonade.
Fucking
not bad.
garbage.
It's
strawberry
all right, it's not
lemonade.
bad.
So anyway, back to this. I'm asking about marriage, not about dating now.
Okay.
Marriage.
We're talking about
why do
people
you
aren't-
think men, do you think that a lot of men don't want to get married because they're afraid that there could be a divorce and their children taking from them in the future if they get married?
No, because I think if they're dating, I think if these people are dating,
Mm-hmm.
they're likely to eventually get married should the relationship progress. I don't think they're just staying cohabitating the way you're suggesting.
What do you want, dude? I don't know what you want.
Put the waters in frame.
Okay. Here
Is
you
that
go.
part of the thing?
It's just,
All right.
Yeah. Go
It's
ahead.
his
Sorry.
OCD.
It's my OCD. Sorry, go ahead.
So anyway, back to this.
What I'm saying is that I think that if people are dating, the eventuality, should the relationship go well, will be marriage. People aren't dating. That's the whole point.
So okay.
So I don't think if you're dating, you're not going to say, you know what, I can't marry you because I'm afraid you're going to take my kids. That's
Okay.
why I don't think that's happening.
So you think that they would rather stay cohabitating?
No.
No.
I think if you're dating somebody long term, you're probably going to end up getting married.
But you're going to cohabitate first, usually, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And what is the number one indicator of unaliving in men? Cohabitation.
That's the reason people are
It's
that's the reason.
you unalive way more than if you're married, right? If you're cohabitating, unalive significantly more than when you're not.
So what's your point?
My point is that your prescription, which is more dating, more dating, more dating, and then I ask you, does that lead to more cohabitation? You say yes. It would actually be your prescription that led to more men unaliving.
So men dating is the reason people are unalive,
No, it's been cohabitating.
which is dating too.
You just said that would be the big side effect, which you're fine with.
Okay, so in order for men,
So
in
my
your- in your-
prescription would lead to less unaliving of
What
men.
is your prescription?
more.
What is your prescription?
So I think if men are dating, that
Yeah.
they should not cohabitate. And that's what red pillers think too, because they actually care
Red pillers
about
don't think-
men unaliving.
red pills are going their own. Do you know about men going their own way?
MGTOW is different.
They're also
and
red
by
pill.
the way, MGTOW 100% doesn't want cohabitation.
I'm not saying they do. They're going their own way. That's
Yeah.
another part of the red pill community.
Yeah.
So they're pushing do not date.
Well, if it's the case that you think dating leads to cohabitation before marriage and their prescription doesn't lead to that, then they're saving a lot more fucking lives than you,
good one, Andrew.
right?
Yeah. Me advocating for people to date is gonna make people unalive themselves.
No,
You're right.
well,
Good job.
if you think that dating leads to cohabitation and you're fine with cohabitation.
I also don't grant that that's the reason most people are unaliving themselves. So I like to see a study on that.
Yeah, well, actually, I can send those to you.
Please do.
Yeah, what's your number?
I'm not gonna say it on
right,
air.
Look right in the camera. No, go ahead. We're good.
Here, let's do a little prompt change here, and we'll maybe try to move through these a bit quicker. So, Raphael, you said that the manosphere exploits male